Hey folks, Mike with ModSolar here. Today I'm going to show you some new enhancements we've recently made to the system design features of the ModSolar platform, and specifically to our patent pending panel layout technology. So as you can see right here, for those of you that are familiar with the platform, I am on the beginning screen of generating a new lead or adding a proposal to an existing lead, and I've got just a company address here that will show us a nice flat roof with some good obstructions that we can use to show a lot of the new features. And so what I'm going to do here is just enter in about 50,000 a year in usage on a kilowatt hour basis. You'll notice that I'm obviously on the commercial tab, and once I do this, we're going to go ahead and map the system. Okay. Now, when we map the system, we're going to see a flat roof here. So we've got a nice flat roof here. We've got some room to zoom in. Okay. And you'll see I've got a couple of obstructions on this flat roof that I want to be able to deal with. But first, I want to just go ahead and draw my region. Okay. Now, for fun, because we've implemented a new feature, I'm going to show you this new feature here. So it starts off with generating a region of 4 points, or a rectangle or a square, depending on what you want. Now, as we know, as we've seen from using the platform, it can sometimes be a challenge, or it used to be a challenge, to get a perfect square or a perfect rectangle. I mean, obviously when someone builds something, they're building perfect squares, as we can see here, but it's tough to sometimes get a perfect square on the ModSolar platform when you were doing the points yourself. Well, we've heard that feedback from you, and we've gone ahead and solved for it. So when I go ahead and click here in the middle, what I can do is I can use this new button that's called Square Up. And when I click the Square Up region, take a look at what happens. Okay, so now what happens is the platform took a look at the shape, knew that it was not perfectly rectangle, and it made it perfectly rectangle. Now, in addition to that, we've got a couple of cool features to help you deal with it. If you'll notice, we could probably tweak the sizing of it just a little bit. Maybe that. I want to come away here and come back here. Now, notice that I have the ability to make it, larger or smaller, but it's still going to be perfectly rectangle, or a perfect square corners. Okay. Now, the other thing too that's really nice is that you can actually go ahead and move it, or really rotate it, and you can do a couple of quick rotates there, or you can make it rotate faster, or turn around completely. And in this case, I'm going to do that just for ease and get it right. Okay, great. Now that we've done that, we've got our next thing here. What we've got here is the azimuth line, and you'll notice the azimuth line right now is kind of pointing directly up. Well, that's obviously no good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to zoom out. Okay, and I get my better azimuth line, I can see it, and I'm going to drag it back down where it belongs. Now, this is feature 2. You'll notice that whenever I drag it, if I zoom in, I'm supposed to drag my azimuth perpendicular to the bottom roof edge or parallel to the roof structure. Well, this is a flat roof, so in reality, I want it perpendicular to the roof. And in this case, I need it perpendicular to the square that I've drawn. Well, before, if you'll notice, you probably could have been slightly off one way or another. Certainly it's harder when you've got angles instead of sort of a good square here. But again, we've solved for this problem. We're using something called Snap Azimuth. So now when you click on Snap Azimuth, no matter what roof region you cross, the azimuth will snap to be a perfectly right angle, okay, to the edge that you're crossing. So in this case, I want my panels facing this direction, and boom, I get a perfect snap azimuth. So Square Up and Snap Azimuth have been added here on the map page. The other thing I want to show you is what happens when we go ahead and lay out panels. Now here you'll notice we've got our patent pending panel layout technology. We've got a lot of nice panels laid out here. We've got good symmetry, again, because we've got a square. So the other thing that Square Up does is it gives you really nice layouts. Now, in this case, what I want to do is, if you remember, I did have some obstructions. But before, when I was looking at the layout here, it's difficult to know where the obstructions are. Maybe I can remember where they are, maybe I don't. So how am I going to deal with that? Well, let's go ahead and use this new feature called see-through panels. As we like to say, it's almost like you've got X-ray vision, and you can see through your panels. Now you'll notice that the panel edges become white, and I'm going to show you another new feature that we've allowed to happen. Okay, and what I'm doing here is I'm actually using my browser zoom. Not zoom inside the ModSolar platform, but the browser zoom to get up close and personal. Maybe that's a little too far, and to see where my obstructions are. So in this case, it looks like I need to remove about 6 panels around this obstruction to give myself good shading. I'm going to go ahead and do that, and as I do that, okay, you'll start to see the space opening up. The lines will be removed, okay, and I can delete panels. Now obviously you can do this as much or as little as you need to give yourself good lines. You can do it to draw access paths when you're drawing larger systems, but ultimately it really helps you to get around the obstructions as well as their shading. So now that I've done that, I can go ahead and I'm going to unclick the checkbox to turn them into full panels again, and there we go. We see I've made a nice gap for my obstruction. So with this functionality, really you just draw over the entire roof, you do the see-through panels, and then you can remove panels as you need to. Okay, and now of course the rest is the same. I can go on to add incentives, and after that I can preview the proposal. And for those of you that are seeing this video, we've got other videos on this page and others on our website to to show you the other functionality. But here we go. There it is. You've got the panels laid out, and we've removed panels for that obstruction. And that's about it. That's what I've got to show you today. Thanks very much for taking the time to view this video. Again, plenty more about the ModSolar platform on our website, as well as when you're ready to talk to us, the ability to give us a call or email us. Thanks again, and we appreciate your